Hello, welcome to Spotlight TV. I'm your host, Dr. Larry Carnes, and we're so excited to have you with us today. We have the honor and the privilege of having with us Miss Barbara Williamson, and she's going to be talking about this powerful book that she has, The Most Liberated Woman in America. Miss Williamson, glad to have you with us. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
It's great to have you with us. Introduce yourself to our audience, and then tell us about this exciting book that you have.
Okay, well, I'm Barbara Williamson, and the title of the book is The Journey of the Most Liberated Woman in America. And, you know, maybe I should give a definition of the liberation. So it's freedom to make choices and decisions in life that are considerate, and respectful, and caring, and responsible. So not only for myself, but for maintaining the planet and for those that love me and I love them. You know, freedom and responsibility are not natural enemies.
Well, I was looking at this most powerful book, and because with you being the co-founder of Sandstone Retreat, which is a very successful retreat during the 1960s and going into the early 1970s, you talk about Sandstone Retreat and the liberation and the freedom that was experienced in that private community. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay. Yeah, Sandstone Retreat was co-founded by me and my life partner, John Williamson. And it was all designed to support people in making powerful changes and transformations in their life. Because at that particular time, we, and still are, in the sixth largest mass extinction in history. And, you know, we just needed something to wake up people. And so Sandstone gave them an opportunity to adventure in to some exciting internal awakenings. And I can't stress the importance of Sandstone. We had one really serious message to the world, and that was to know that sexuality is our birthright, and we need to own it. We need to own it now. And so we gave the environment for people to come and be free and learn how to accept the fact that we're sexual beings. So we've been living under sexual suppression for so many years. And so we wanted to expand our spiritual assets, basically, so we could feel and experience our emotions and learn how to manage them. And we all wanted to be better human beings.
Wow, that's powerful. I noticed you mentioned something as I was doing my research. You said when sexuality is distorted, it leads to distortion of the basic self.
That's correct.
That's a powerful statement. Unpack that.
Well, it comes out in the form of a distorted personality anytime you're talking about or experiencing your sexuality. And I don't know how we got in a rut like that, but sexual repression has been going on for a long time. And the issue is whoever owns our sexuality controls the population. And that is what we're experiencing right now.
Wow.
On the planet.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. You talk
Yeah.
about the freedom of expression from a sexual perspective. So Sandstone created an environment and atmosphere for people to have a freedom of sexual expression without fear of judgment.
That's correct. And we decorated it so soft to the touch and beauty to the eye. And we left them no place to hide their sexuality. So in this particular case, in a well-chosen environment, a little public sex was good for people so they could see that it wasn't something they should be repressing. They needed to just accept it and own it.
Sandstone had an environment where people not only engaged and became aware of their sexual freedom, but they engaged in sexual activity openly where others could observe if they wanted to observe.
Right. And then that changed it from being in the darkness to stepping out into the light. And it was very liberating for people.
So now, were any people intimidated when they actually saw other people actually start to just watch them as they were participating and having sexual intimacy with their other partner? Was it with their partner exclusively, or was it with multiple partners at the retreat? What was the environment like?
Well, they could be any way. We could have group involvement or individual involvement. And yeah, the display of it was meant to bring out emotions. If it was jealousy or possessiveness or whatever it might be, we had to bring those problems out for them to be solved.
Now that's interesting because I was giving thought to that. When you have that environment like that and you get there and you see, okay, this one partner sees their partner with someone else who may be experiencing a greater height of bliss, if you will, what would that foster in that other partner?
I don't know if they reacted so much to the other partners. I think they just were concerned and the focus was on themselves.
That is interesting. I noticed it talks about how even some celebrities and high profile people would come to this resort to get away and to experience this freedom of expression.
Right.
That's interesting. Talk to us about that for a minute.
Oh, the variety of people was widespread, and we did have a lot of college professors that came because for the first time in history, they could come to a place and watch the action in a different setting. They were watching people have sex in a free-spirited way. And they couldn't write fast enough, but then after Sandstone got so much pushback from the outside world that we were in a very private setting, but it didn't stop the old traditions from really impinging upon us. And after they succeeded, I guess you'd say they succeeded in running us out of business because we had to fight lawsuits on the First Amendment, and we won the First Amendment rights. And what was the rest of that question, Larry?
Now, when you talk about fighting lawsuits on the First Amendment and the First Amendment rights,
yeah,
and you say you won that, the First Amendment allowed for people to have freedom of expression when it comes to their sexual activity and sex?
Yes.
Okay.
They sent the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors consisted of like 5 different people. And they were people probably in their 50s and 60s. And they were kind of dried up prunes, and their whole focus was on power. And so, so they sent the sheriff up to write us a citation. The sheriff came up from Malibu. He did not want to write the citation because he saw the social benefit of Sandstone Retreat to the public. And so he had to write us a citation that there were 3 or more people exposing themselves in the nude to one another that was not family. So they thought that should be a violation.
Oh.
And that's a suit they lost.
So the citation wasn't for the sexual activity, but the citation was because you had people with no clothes on exposing themselves to each other.
Yes. Yeah.
That's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. Now, you mentioned the college professors coming and they were writing. So were they doing research on Sandstone and what was taking place? Or what were the professors doing there, actually?
Yeah, they professed to be observers and interested in the behavior of people in this non-structured, open environment with nudity and open sexuality. People behave much differently, and there wasn't all this anxiety that you find at a traditional party where people are clothed. So everybody at our place, clothing was optional, but most everybody was nude and looked forward to shedding their clothes when they got there. And, we just had casual conversations, and there wasn't that sexual anxiety that generated when you have your clothes on there. And the other benefit of the nudity was to be truthful. And it was not a climate to tell a bunch of lies. And I had the experience of Barry Gordy coming up, and Barry had a lot of money and a lot of clothes, very expensive clothes on. And I was sitting on the couch talking to him, and he said, well, I'm afraid, basically what he was saying, I'm afraid if I take my clothes off, nobody will recognize me. And so, well, that's what you said. You were afraid that people would recognize you. All you got to do is take off those glasses and your expensive cashmere suits, and you will just be like one of the rest of us.
That's interesting. And so we know that people who are interested, they can go to Amazon and get the book. We know it's there available on Amazon. Thank you so much for being with us. It's just so enlightening, such a pleasure speaking with you. And thank you so much, and have an awesome, awesome day.
That was my pleasure. Thank you, Larry. Thank
you for tuning in. We'll be right back with our special guest right here on Spotlight TV. Don't go away.